Good morning, students. Today we will study chapter Sources of Energy. In this chapter, we will cover definitions of the conventional, non-conventional sources of energy, renewable and non-renewable sources of energy, different kind of the sources of energy which are present around us, impact of use of energy sources on the immediate environment, and how long will these sources last. Coming first to conventional sources of energy. Beta, these sources are in use since long period of the time. That's why these are called conventional sources of energy. These include basically fossil fuels, and fossil fuels are of different kind like coal, petroleum, natural gas, which are obtained from the fossils which got buried in the soil or under the sea thousands of years ago. In addition to it, hydel energy and thermal power plant also use these conventional sources of energy. Non-conventional sources of energy are those sources which are alternate of the conventional sources of energy. These sources are also known as renewable sources of energy, as these are widely available around us. These will not exhaust in near future. For example, solar energy. Sun rises every day, so its energy will not exhaust till the sun ends up. So, conventional sources will last in the near future if we are not going to save them. That's why these are known as non-renewable sources of energy. Beta, here we can say that conventional sources of energy are the non-renewable sources of energy, whereas non-conventional sources of energy are renewable sources of energy. In India, in last decades, different kind of energy sources are used. For example, coal made almost 61% of the total energy requirement in some last decades, whereas 15% of energy was generated from the hydropower, and natural gas formed only 9%, whereas renewable sources were only 13%. A little bit of energy was also obtained from the nucleus and is known as the nuclear energy. So the use of the renewable sources is very less till today, and these need to be increased in the present as well as in future time. First, we will consider non-conventional sources of energy. Hydroelectric power production. Hydroelectric power production basically uses the energy generated from the water. Here the water moves and its kinetic energy is changed into the electricity by running the turbine. When turbines run, the kinetic energy of the water changes into the mechanical energy of turbine and gets converted into the electricity. So finally we get electricity from the potential energy of the standing water, and this is generally generated at the places of dams. Thermoelectric production of the power. Here heat is changed into the electricity. How? In this picture it is very clear that heat is supplied to some vessel like cooker where steam is produced. That steam is used to move the blades around the tennis ball. Here we can also use rotor, where the blades move and help the dynamo to work, and dynamo converts then the heat energy which was converted into the kinetic energy of the rotor into the electric energy, and the bulb glows and produces the light. So here different form of energies are changing. For example, I am repeating it again. Heat first of all changes into the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy changes into the electricity, and electricity changes into the light and heat by the use of the bulb. Various kind of the non-conventional sources of energy which are developing these days, these are the solar energy, wind energy, hydro energy, energy of the water, especially the moving water, tidal energy and ocean energy of the oceans, and biogas energy. These are different sources of the energy like solar energy panel, wind mills, biogas plants, etc. Coming to the solar energy. Sun is the vast source of energy for us, and we can use it in different works like heating, for producing the electricity. And for producing electricity, we generally use solar cells. One solar cell is capable of storing the voltage of 0.5 to 1.0 volt, which produces only 0.7 watt of electricity. And this electricity is very, very small amount and is not capable of doing any work. Therefore, single solar cell is not capable, and we need to form a solar panel by arranging and assimilating different solar cells, and then total energy produced by the different cells are used in generating electricity, lighting our homes, in heating the water in the geysers, etc. And of course, solar cooker is very old system of cooking food by using the solar energy. Biogas. This is another method of using conventional source of energy but in technically improved manner, because bio sources like plant and animal excreta was used long ago in the India for generating energy, and that was harmful for the environment also. Therefore, with the new technique, biogases started to be formed. And in biogas plant, the plant and animal excreta, in the absence of oxygen, that is an anaerobic condition, forms the methane, carbon dioxide, which are known as the biogas. So we can say biogas is a mixture of different gases like methane and carbon dioxide. And this can be produced from the raw material, which may be plant product or animal product like manure, municipal waste, plant material, sewage waste, green waste, etc. Hydro energy. Hydro energy or the water energy is the use of the falling water, where potential energy changes into kinetic energy, and this kinetic energy is used to run the turbines, as I have discussed in earlier topic also, and then turbine forms the electricity. And this is one of the major source of energy in our country. For example, Bhakra Nangal in our area is a useful source of electricity in the North India. Wind energy. Wind energy is another renewable source of energy, as winds are available every day and are produced due to the different heating of the earth at different places, as a result of which the wind moves. And the kinetic energy of the wind can be used to do mechanical work like grinding of the seeds. It can also be used in production of electricity. But for that, single windmill is not capable. And we need here to form the windmill farm where thousands of windmills together work and produces the electricity. One more condition is that it requires high wind speed, at least of the speed of 15 km per hour to run the windmill, which are available in the southern India. That's why windmill is a good source of producing energy in the South India. Other sources, ocean energy, which are available in the form of the tides, in the wave of wave currents, and is used to produce electricity in the areas around near the sea. Here, this energy is also renewable source of energy. Geothermal energy. Geothermal power is the power generated by the geothermal energy. Technologies are used for drying including the dry stream power stations, flash stream power stations, and binary cycle power stations. Different kind of the power stations are there for changing the geothermal energy into the electricity. Although it is not used at a large scale, but still in the world there are 26 countries where electricity is generated from the geothermal energy, and in 70 countries it is used for heating. It just works based on different temperature on the surface of earth and beneath the earth. Nuclear energy. Enormous amount of the energy. As we know, atom is having the nucleus at its center, and when the nucleus participate in the chemical reaction, those reactions are called nuclear reactions, which may be fission or fusion. Fission reaction means when a nucleus divides and produces energy, and fusion means combining of various nucleus, two or more nucleus, to produce single one, and enormous amount of energy is produced in both fission reaction and fusion reaction. The thing we need here is nuclear reactor, which controls the amount of energy and produces electricity. So nuclear reactions are used for the producing tremendous amount of energy. Our sun also produces energy using the nuclear fusion, but that does not produce any kind of the harmful gases and does not affect our environment. So that is a different thing. But here in our country, when nuclear reactors are used, if leakage take place, then it affects the environment a lot. So this was about the different kind of the sources of energy, and these sources, whether it is nuclear energy or it is geothermal energy or it is any other conventional source of energy like fossil fuel, they affect the environment, and how they produce impact on the environment we are going to study now. So here we will study first the impact of the renewable sources of energy. As we know, renewable sources of energy like biogas, wind energy, sunlight is not having any drastic effect on the environment directly and are 100% safe. But still, these resources damage the environment when these are manufactured, when these are transported from one place to another, when these are installed. Because in all these processes, we have to take help of conventional sources of energy. So their manufacturing, transportation, and installation are certain factors which cause damage to the environment to certain extent. Coming to non-renewable sources of energy. Non-renewable sources of energy generally produce fumes and cause air pollution or water pollution when these pollutants enter into the water, like carbon dioxide, nitric oxide, nitrous oxide produced by the conventional sources. They affect the water bodies and cause water pollution. The next impact is greenhouse effect. Here in this greenhouse effect, these gases are trapped by the environment, and when sunlight falls on the earth's surface, it is transmitted back, but these gases are absorbed the sunlight, as a result of which the temperature of the earth increases and causes greenhouse effect. Next effect is damage to the wildlife. water pollution, air pollution, soil pollution, greenhouse effect. These have negative effect on the wildlife. And if we consider, in the last century, many species of plants and animals are extinct. The reason being the pollution. So we can say conventional sources are having drastic effect on environment, and now it becomes our duty to save the environment. And what we can do to save is, we should use these sources judiciously so that we can prevent air, water, soil pollution, we can protect wildlife, and of course, if we are saving air, water, soil pollution, and wildlife is also full, then it will make us healthy and protect our health. Now the question arises, if we are not judiciously using these sources, what will be the effect? The effect will be that these sources will not last longer. The energy sources like the sun, the movement of the waves, flow of river, these are some activities which are happening from millions of years and will of course continue till many million of years. And these are constant, reliable sources and will last for longer time. But what about non-renewable sources of energy? These are limited, as we discussed. They take millions of years to form, but are exhausting at a very high speed. And at present, the rate of consumption, these resources will get exhausted in less than 100 years. So what will happen then? That is the problem, and we will have to consider it. So now is the time for the recapitulation. Today we studied about the different topics regarding the conventional and non-conventional sources of energy, how these are defined as renewable and non-renewable sources of energy, what are the reasons of the pollution they cause, how can we stop them, and how long will these sources last. Dear students, now is the assignment for you. You will solve these questions. Give difference between conventional and non-conventional sources of energy. Differentiate between renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. How does conventional energy sources affect our environment? Does renewable sources affect our environment? How? What strategies would you suggest to save environment from the effect of energy resources? And the last question is, how long will energy sources last? Thank you and have a nice day.